I'm Madison. I am the program manager for the learning series, and I'm also going to be presenting today's What's New with Amazon QuickSight session. This will look a little bit differently than our previous sessions. It's not necessarily going to be a demo, but I'm going to show you all the resources to find everything that you would want to know about these new features that we just launched. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start with our agenda here. So the agenda for today is I'll just do a quick overview of what Amazon QuickSight is if you're new and don't know much about our tool. I'll do an overview of our generative BI capabilities within Amazon QuickSight. We'll talk about some product updates and what's new information. I'll give you a list of where to get help and learn more through our resources. And then I'll give you some educational resources, which you can link back to. So Amazon QuickSight is our unified business intelligence service at hyperscale. So this is part of our AWS services, and it is a dashboarding tool that you can use for pixel perfect reports, which is kind of like sheets. And then you can use interactive dashboarding with different visuals. So as you can see here, there's different visual types with a bunch of capabilities for filtering and use of JSON and Highcharts and a ton of features for generative BI capabilities. And what's nice about Amazon QuickSight is its consistent performance at any scale. So it's great for use in different types of use cases and when you have huge amounts of data, and cost is by pay per use. So that's great as well. And it also has policy-based governance. So it's secure, it keeps all your data in one place. You don't have to worry about any of that privacy issues within Amazon QuickSight because it's all integrated with your AWS infrastructure. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight some of our capabilities within Amazon Q. So if you aren't familiar already, Amazon Q is our generative BI features within our Amazon QuickSight product. So the following features include an AI-powered dashboarding authoring experience. So if you are an author in Amazon QuickSight, which means that you are able to build analyses and dashboards for your users, you are able to use generative BI capabilities and natural language to help make the authoring experience easier. So that includes creating visuals using natural language, editing visuals, and creating calculated fields using natural languages as well. And we also have, for readers, AI-assisted data storytelling. So say you have a dashboard and you want to create a story with that to send, say, a report or a narrative to someone on your team or some stakeholders in a meeting. You can use natural language to query a prompt, and in the back end, our generative AI will build out a data story, which will outline certain visuals that you point out and take out the insights from those visuals into natural language format. And then you're able to go in and custom edit it yourself. So that's a really cool feature that we have with Amazon Q. We also have, if you are a reader or an author, you can ask questions on demand using your dashboard. So say you have a visual that you want to understand more what's happening and find some greater insights. You can ask in Amazon Q in the Q&A portion, just in natural language, say something like, what were my sales last week? Or what were the top grossing customers last week? And it'll pull up the information from your dashboard and also your data set and give you a nice visual format. And then we also have, if you are more into embedding and the SDK within Amazon QuickSight, we have extended custom apps with AI, which is a relatively new feature. And then in general, this is just helping to unify all of your insights within one platform using QuickSight. And then the last part is our scenario analysis. So we've had a bunch of demos this year, which I'll also link at the end of this video, that are highlighting different scenarios. So a scenario in Amazon QuickSight, which we'll highlight a bit later, is a deep dive into any complex business problem, and the AI will tell you step by step on how to solve that problem using your data set. So it's really awesome if you are looking for more in-depth data analysis, pulling both from your data set and also real-world knowledge. And that's also a new feature that was launched last year at re:Invent. Okay, so I first want to cover this new feature that was highlighted at the bottom. So it's insights from unstructured data in Q&A. And what we mean by unstructured data is, so far, Amazon QuickSight was allowing you to use structured data, which is more so in data tables and formats of that type. But unstructured data might be messy data or like natural language, so things like Word documents, PowerPoints, anything like that. So what you can do is, if you connect your Amazon Q account to Amazon Amazon Q business account to Amazon Q in QuickSight, you're able to use your unstructured data, so things like Word documents, PDFs, and things that are relevant to your dashboard to be able to give greater context to any questions that you ask within Amazon Q. So here I highlighted that it answers things relevant to your business. And you can see in the video that's playing here, we're asking it a question here. So we're asking the bottom performing products. And on the left pane here, you'll see the narrative that comes both in the structured format and then unstructured format that was from the Amazon Q business documents uploaded. And we also have a demo that we did earlier this year that's showcasing this if you want to learn more specifically about this feature. All right, and then you can see here a different example of how unstructured data is used. So you can also use it in your data story. So when you're prompting your data story, you can answer your prompt or ask your prompt and then upload visuals that are relevant from your dashboard. But what you can also do is upload files that are from your unstructured data. So here we're doing a Word document, and we'll add that as greater context to give more narrative to our story. And so you can see here, it's running through that. And then once the story is finished, you can scroll through here and it pulls in context from both the visuals that you've had in your dashboard, as well as the document that you've uploaded. Again, we have a video from our learning series this year that covers both this feature and the feature that I did on the last slide of unstructured data. All right, and then the next feature is really exciting. So we've hosted a bunch of industry use case demos on scenarios, but what you can see playing in the background here is how this flow works. So you start off from a dashboard or a scenario itself, and you'll have a question in mind that's usually a complex business problem. So here we've asked the question, and then we're creating threads, which are basically going to kick off a step-by-step analysis that the AI is going to generate that will help solve our business use case. And so this will help you discover insights in a methodical way so you can both check if the process is what you were expecting, and you can see what math and logic was happening in the background from the AI. It also allows you to perform one-click analysis. So say if you wanted to edit the block that was generated, you can do so and then edit it with natural language. And then you can also change the block to be duplicated or deleted. So this can help give you greater context once you're going down through the scenario. All right, and then I'll let this play one more time here so you can just see for greater clarity. So here we've uploaded the data sets. We have our question here that we want to understand some trends. And then we're asking two questions side by side to see what it generates. So one having to do with the ROI and the other one having to do with ad analysis performance. And then the last one is asking a revenue question of how we can grow revenue by 20%. And so those get kicked off. And at the end there is a complete finish of the scenario. And again, this is also in several of our industry use cases that happened earlier this year. So you can go check that out on our YouTube channel or on our community. And feel free, if there's anyone who has questions, I can't see the chat right now, but if there's any questions, please ask in the chat and I will answer them at the end in our Q&A. Okay, so now that we kind of covered a bit of the general generative BI features, I also now want to transition into our next integration, which is with Amazon SageMaker. So the next slide is just going to cover an overview of what Amazon SageMaker is, and then I'll talk a little bit more about our integrations. So if you don't already know, Amazon SageMaker is a unified platform for any data analytics and AI and BI that happen in your environment. So it allows you to collaborate and build faster with single data and AI development environments. It helps you develop and scale AI use cases with a broad set of tools. And it also allows you to reduce the silos of your data, which allows you to have an open lakehouse to unify everything in one place. And similar to Amazon QuickSight, it helps meet your enterprise's security needs, keeping everything private with data and AI governance. And I will also at the end list a resource to find more about Amazon SageMaker if you're interested in this as well. Okay, and then so specifically within Amazon QuickSight, we've recently launched an Amazon SageMaker Unified Studio integration. So you can kind of see that here on this screen. And we hosted a session on this a couple weeks ago, so I'll post that in the chat as well. But what you can do with Amazon SageMaker Unified Studio is you're able to catalog, discover, analyze, visualize, and share any of the insights with a self-service tool and a governed experience through your account. It also allows you to create dashboards within Amazon QuickSight that get automatically added to a SageMaker catalog. So if you already use Amazon SageMaker, this is a great transition to be able to integrate both QuickSight with that tool. Okay, and then this next feature is very exciting. Huge launch earlier this year, but Highcharts and Amazon QuickSight is a really interesting tool that allows you to increase the amount of variety of charts that you're able to do within your QuickSight dashboards. So we've hosted, again, a couple sessions before earlier this year on how to do Highcharts, and we call it the art of the possible. So it shows you different use cases of when to apply different charts, how to customize them in the JSON format that you need to code the chart into your dashboard, and what it looks like inside your environment. We're also hosting one in September of this session, so I highly recommend signing up for that. But essentially, you can see here, there's different graphs that you can do. So this one is a network graph. These are the features that you can use. So there's some wrappers, as well as dependency wheels, stacked area charts, etc. And if you want to check out the video, this is what it's called on our YouTube channel. It's called Art of the Possible Visualizations with Highcharts by Jackson. He's also going to be hosting the one coming up in a couple weeks. So that's a really exciting feature. And if you have any questions on this feature as well, please put it in the chat. And then now we'll move on to the next one. So this one is just for fun, but earlier this year, we also helped the NFL with the Combine IQ and the NFL Draft IQ. So these two are dashboards that you can visit publicly on the NFL website. And this was in collaboration with their team to show the art of the possible of what you can do with embedded dashboards and how you can showcase your data. So we worked with them to do their Combine dashboarding as well as their draft dashboard. And what you can do here, again, accessible on their website, is you're able to go through and filter through certain players, which will filter down and pull up their own stats. So you can do that here. And then same with this one as well. If you're interested in that, please let me know in the chat and I will link that as well so you can access that on your own time. But we also hosted a session with Arun, who is our special expert solution architect, and he was the one who built out these dashboards. So if you're interested in finding out how he built it and maybe you want to use something similar in your own environment, I highly recommend checking out this video. It is called Advanced Authoring: How We Built the Visual Analytics for the NFL. And so that was a very brief and large overview of the features that we launched this summer. So we have those videos up on our YouTube, and those are great resources, but I also want to point you to other resources that we have to help you learn and find out this information on your own time. So I quickly want to overview the Amazon QuickSight community, which I already did in the beginning, but I'm just going to do a refresh for those who aren't familiar. So this is what it looks like. Again, it's totally free to join. I linked it in the chat. But there's a really great source of resources for anyone who's curious or wanting to upscale their learning journey within Amazon QuickSight. So as you can see here, this is the homepage. This is where we host our learning series, and that's where our registration gets posted. And then we have rotating topics here of what you can sign up for and highlighting our community experts. So this is what our community looks like on our site. And the three areas that I want to point out quickly are going to be the Learn tab, the Arena tab, and Q Corner. These are probably the most frequently asked questions on our community of where to get learning resources. So I want to make sure that everybody has the knowledge now that they can refer to later and see what type of things we offer. So in Learn, I want to start with the learning dashboard. And this is for anyone who wants to see what an environment of QuickSight looks like. And the purpose of this is to show you how to use QuickSight while being inside of a QuickSight environment. So what that looks like is this here. So it looks like a QuickSight page, and everything that's what you need to learn for any of the types of roles that you have within your environment can be navigated through this top nav here. So we have this welcome page for all of our user roles. And then we have a getting started page. So again, let me go ahead and link this in chat. This is publicly accessible. So this getting started page will give you kind of the basics of what we think is where you should get started before if you've never used QuickSight. So we have an author workshop, a Q workshop, an admin workshop, paginated reports, which is the pixel perfect reporting, an embedding workshop, and then a user-based embedding. So we have these resources here. We again have a what's new tab. So this should be updated with some of our recent features, which I've just covered. And then this page, which is really awesome. So here you can go through our hundreds of resources and filter it by any keyword, your persona type, the level that you're looking for, content type, delivery, so video, workshop, snippets, documentation, and then the topic. And then what's really exciting is if you are an author or reader, you can get even more filtered results through our web pages for those users. So this is what the author page looks like. And then for those saying who are reader pros, which is our Amazon Q enabled users, you can see what that looks like here. We have our resources and then as well as workshops, and it teaches you quickly how to do some of the Amazon Q integrations that I just discussed. So I highly recommend checking this out. This is totally free. It's in our DemoCentral environment. And so you're able to interact with this demo and you can access any dashboards that are in our gallery. So this is what we have here, and you're able to go in here and kind of play around with these dashboards. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So this one I have as our entertainment dashboard. So it's of our IMDb Awards Season Spotlight. This was taken from a public database, and it allows you to filter through different genres and awards. So let's see here. We can do like adult, comedy, action, pick the release year, and then this dashboard will automatically update. So this allows you to just explore what it looks like to interact with the dashboard, and you're able to pinboard some of the visuals. So here we see that a few visuals were pinboarded. Great. And then this will go back. And then let's see. I want to also show this here. So here we have our updated Amazon Q and QuickSight generative Q&A experience. So if you go into DemoCentral, you're able to ask Q like you would as a Reader Pro. So say you don't already have that in your account, you can try it out in DemoCentral. So here we can see what that looks like. We have the Q full experience. And we'll go to this page. So this is kind of what Q looks like inside a QuickSight account within your DemoCentral environment. And again, this is publicly accessible, so I can ask a question here. We'll try one of these suggested questions. Let's do, show me the sales trend for the current year. And using the dashboard, it will answer the question and pull visuals that it's created that is relevant to the answer. So we can see here, it's interpreted this as total sales by month in 2025. We can see these trend lines. We can also see these top 100 contact names. These are all fictitious. And then we can also see a nice summary here. So if you want to try this out, I'm going to go ahead and link this in chat as well. And you can practice answering Q&A with generative AI. All right. Okay, so now that I showed DemoCentral, I'm going to go back here and we're just going to go over the other Learn materials. So this is probably the most requested tab, but this is where we have all of our recordings from learning series sessions. So all the sessions that I've referenced earlier are going to be here. So the NFL one was here, the Amazon SageMaker Unified Studio one is here as well, and Highcharts are going to be down here as well. So this is going to have the repository going back all the way from 2021. So there's a ton of good videos here that you can also filter down and search on your own if using the search bar. But it's going to be a great resource for anyone who wants a deep dive into any specific feature. They have different technical skills as well as any of the new features that we've covered in the last 3 years and updates with Amazon QuickSight. We've done a learning series session on. So I highly recommend checking this out and also being able to access this recording later through this tab. and I'll go ahead and also link that in the chat. All right, great. Okay, and then this other area here is going to be called Arena. So for those who want to use a sandbox-like environment within QuickSight or to test out any problems they have and replicate it for our solution architects or experts to answer, we recommend using Arena. So not many people know about this tool, but it's a really great implementation of QuickSight that Arun again built out for us. So he's posted a getting started page, which teaches you all about how to use the tool. It gives a really brief intro about what to do to set it up, as well as documentation and visuals showing you exactly how to do it. So again, this is going to be like DemoCentral. It gives you a sandbox environment where you're allowed to replicate any problems or questions that you have within your own QuickSight account into this public account so that we can be able to help solve it for you. So you can kind of see Arun going through it here. And he's showing you that if you had a problem, how you can tag it inside the Q&A with Arena to showcase your problem. All right, and then I will go ahead and briefly show what Arena looks like. So it looks like this. It looks just like DemoCentral, but it's going to be a QuickSight account that's a sandbox environment. So you have the option to do a site tour, open the console, which basically allows you to replicate an analysis, upload your data sets that you want to use to show your problem, and then share. So this is either to share to everybody to post on our community gallery or share so that you can answer your problem within the dashboard. All right, and then I'll just quickly show what the gallery looks like. So here is the gallery. These are made from our QuickSight experts. So we can kind of explore this. This is all made in Arena. So if anyone has any suggestions of which one I should click into, but let's see. I really like this Pokemon one. So we'll go into here and see what this is. And this was all created in Arena, so anyone can use this. This person posted it and made it publicly available for our gallery. So really awesome, created by one of our community experts. And what you can do here, looks like you can see your Pokemon deck, which we'll look into, and you can search it by characters. So let's see. And this will update based on their stats. So that's really cool. And I'm able to just navigate from the bottom. So this is all super interactive. And then you can see the best Pokemons, it looks like, which is really cool. So I'm going to pick this dragon, and it tells you the types and filters. Battle of Pokemons, so you can battle. You can do history. So then you can get a brief overview, which is really cool. And then some frequently asked questions. So this is a really awesome dashboard. If anyone wanted to check this out, you can do so on our gallery in Arena and inside of our community. What you can also do is copy this into your own account, and it will recreate the analysis. So you can see that doing that in the background here. And now what I can do is look at any of the visuals that they created and see how I can maybe replicate that in my own account. So that's what's really awesome about Arena. So you can see that here. You can see this, they use this table. You can see what this was as well, and that these were embedded images. So yeah, I don't want to go too deep into this, but if you want to explore this on your own, feel free. It is a very awesome interactive tool that I feel like should really get some highlight because it's, I think, undervalued, and like it's a great resource for anyone who wants to learn how to do interactive dashboarding and get to the level of this. And then the very last area I want to highlight on our community is our Q corner. So this is going to be where all of our generative AI and BI is going to be located. So if you click into here, we have again a getting started page. We have our trainings and workshops. So this will be for anyone who wants to do an intro level of what Amazon Q is in QuickSight all the way to an advanced level. We also have our what's new in blogs of different features that have been rolled out. We have our industry demos, which will have all of our scenarios capabilities, as well as our beginning Q&A and data storytelling videos. And then the last one is our general how-tos. So this is any Q video, any Amazon Q video that we've posted in the past. So you can see here, we have our special guests and solution architects that have hosted these, and these go really deep into specific features and how to implement them within your environment. So I highly recommend checking this out if you don't already know about Amazon Q and QuickSight, or just wanting to learn more about specific industry use cases.